equal and exact justice to all men of whatever state or persuasion. These are the hypocritical words outside the criminal court building, and we say criminal because that's what it is. All power to the people. Welcome to the press conference for the National Liberate Our Elders weekend. This event is being sponsored by Prison Lives Matter. And just a little history, we're standing right in here on the original spot of the New York Panther 21 trial protest that took place in 1970. On this and the other side of the street, where thousands of Panthers and the community were protesting the unjust conspiracy trial against the Black Panther leadership here in New York. Today we're kicking off New York's contribution to a three-city forum that's taking place in Chicago and Oakland, California, to liberate our elders from prison. What we found is that the freedom fighters of the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s are now all elders. And many of them are still in prison in this country, although they say there's no political prisoners. So we're kicking off this weekend for over 4 months of organizing to begin a national launching to bring about liberation for our elders. Spearheaded by Brother Kwame Bean Shakur, who is currently still incarcerated in Indiana, part of the Prison Lives Matter movement, and also Jalil Montequin, another former political prisoner who is now free and out on the streets. In 2021, we actually had a tribunal right here in New York City where international jurors found the United States government guilty of genocide. That will be the focus of this 3-day conference, looking at those areas of genocide that took place, and we will be addressing all of them as they relate to the prison industrial complex. This evening we will be kicking off at 7 p.m. There'll be a webinar, and I'm going to give you the information how to get the links to that. You can get in touch at panthershepcat@aol.com. That's Panther, Panther, Shep, SHEP, cat, CAT@aol.com. panthershepcat@aol.com. And we'll make sure you get all the links and all the information for the entire weekend, which I'm going to go briefly through right now. So again, this evening there'll be a webinar. The opening plenary will take place, which will cover certain areas such as changing the legislation and the laws in this court system as they relate to our prisons and our prisoners, looking at solitary confinement, torture, looking at changing the laws and the rules of parole, eliminating the whole slave labor from the 13th Amendment. We're going to look at medical neglect and elder abuse that takes place in these prisons. We're going to look at interfaith prison ministries, incorporating them into the prison movement to liberate our freedom fighters that are captured. We're going to look at the labor movement and how it can organize and has organized in the past to support our political prisoners. We're definitely going to look at First Nations, the struggles in northern Mexico, or what they call the Chicano struggle there, and also our indigenous brothers and sisters that have been captured, such as Leonard Peltier and Oso Blanco, also elders. We're going to look at the U.S. colonies that still exist in Guam, Samoa, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, and how they're trying to recapture Cuba again, and the prisoners that are being held in those instances. All these are going to be coming together this weekend. So again, we're going to start this evening at 7 p.m. online. Tomorrow at 5 p.m., we're going to be doing this hybrid. There'll be a virtual coming live from NYU Law School, and also folks who want to be there in person, you have to RSVP, and we will welcome you there in person. We will have a great lineup of panelists for both tonight and tomorrow night of former political prisoners and prisoners of war, revolutionaries, community activists, organizers from all those areas that I just spoke about, such as Sekou Odinga, Sundiata Acoli, and hopefully we can get Rochelle McGee to come in, who was just recently released. all that said, we said recently released, we have to look at the medical neglect and the elder abuse that's going on. Recently, we just lost Dr. Mutulu Shakur, and we will be doing an event on Sunday, which I'm going to mention on him. There's no reason why Mutulu should have passed away. No reason why he shouldn't have got the medical treatment that he was due while he was locked up, as long as the rest of our freedom fighters. On Sunday, we're going to start out in Atlanta with that tribute to Dr. Mutulu Shakur, starting about 11 o'clock. And after that, we'll be switching over to Chicago, where their panel and discussion will take place. And then that'll be followed up with a closing panel from Oakland, California. Again, we want you all to tune in for the days that we have mentioned at Panther Shepcat at AOL.com. And I will make sure, and we will make sure, that you get all the links, all the flyers, all the speakers, the programs, and the information. All power to the people. Free them all.
Peace, family. My name is Tyreek. I am a Black Panther. I am a former Black Liberation Army prisoner of war. I spent 17 years in various American death camp prisons. So I know personally what is being discussed here. I know these from personal experiences. That's what I'm saying. Now, so there's a need to free our elders now, because we have been working on for the freedom of our prisoners for quite a while, and we have not been successful, so that this matter of us consolidating our efforts is a very good thing, and we must save our prisoners. We must remove them from harm's way. Our prisoners are being held by a gangster government, and as it was pointed out, the authorities are subjecting our prisoners of war to judicial misconduct, and the judicial misconduct resulted in many of our prisoners receiving, if not all of them, receiving differential sentences that's outside of the norm in terms of the sentences that should be given out. And as Shep was pointing out, the authorities are subjecting our prisoners to illegal parole denials, multiple illegal parole denials, and they are subjecting them to various forms of torture, and they are subjecting them to medical murder. So we must free our elders from the grip of the American gangster government. And the American government is a gangster government. Thank you for your attention. Free all of our elder political prisoners. Thank you.
So again, in closing, come out, join us online this evening at 7 p.m. Tomorrow, if you're in the New York area, come by NYU. We'll have some food, and you can get to meet a lot of our freedom fighters there in person that will be there, as well as the other organization. That's tomorrow evening, NYU Law School. That's 40 Washington Square South. And we look forward to you all coming out. And then we'll also get you that information on Sunday for Dr. Mutulu Shakur and the webinars that are taking place in Chicago and Oakland, California. We're building, y'all. This is not just going to be a conference, but we have a plan to continue to organize in all those areas I talked about all across this country to build a movement under what we call the People's Senate, which comes out of that tribunal. So all that information will be passed on if you attend. All power to the people.
All power to the people.
What's the call? Free them all. What's the call? Free them all.